It feels like someone has flipped a switch and it's suddenly springtime where I live. I talked about in my last video having a bit of a creative slump. That kind of turned into a whole life slump over the past week or so. I feel like I'm coming out of that now, so I'm going to forget about my responsibilities for an afternoon, get two of my most treasured farm buddies, and head out into the paddock to do some drawing in the sun. I would love for you to join me. One of the weird things that has happened since I got back into horses after an extended hiatus is that the things that I've been learning are applicable to my creative life, my life as an artist, to life in general, and very often to life as a mother. One of the things that I've learnt since starting back that really stands out to me is the importance of our physical body, of our energy, of our presence. And this was something that I found really easy to discount as someone who worked in very cerebral, creative careers, always up in my brain. I was never really worried about my physicality except for as long as my hands were functioning, everything was okay. But that way of thinking has been something that I've really had to revise. The importance of being in our body, of having our nervous system regulated, of knowing what we're doing, where we are in space, how we're breathing, how we're speaking to ourselves and thinking about the world around us. It all has a huge impact on the way our mind is working, which of course has an influence on our creativity. I've definitely found that since I've started to work on those things, be more aware, pay more attention, it's really fed back into my practice as an artist. I've definitely changed the way that I mother and the way that I show up in the world. And it's really shown me that despite considering myself a pretty well-adjusted person, there were so many things that needed to be worked on. And one of the most important of those was an awareness of how I'm using my body, how I'm communicating my energy and intention, because that's the way that horses communicate. They communicate through a really subtle visual, physical language that as humans we often ignore, misinterpret. We ourselves communicate in a voice that can be very threatening or confusing to them if we're not aware of how we are using our bodies to communicate, or how our sort of elsewhereness might be putting them off, which is a big thing that I have a problem with, the inability to remain present. But as I work on all these things, it changes my creative process too, my ability to stay in the moment with what I'm working on, to not judge what I'm working on as I'm going, to have clear intentions and move boldly in the pursuit of those, to put aside doubts, to trust the process, all those things that we need to do when we're working on our creative works. And I'm also finding, much to my own chagrin, that having a better awareness of my physicality, a better respect for how my body, my nervous system, how all those things that aren't just my brain and hands impact my work, having a good awareness of that has changed and improved who I am as an artist and as a person. Unfortunately, that looks like having to run and strength train and take care of myself in ways that I probably haven't in the past. But of course, that is for the better. But I guess in short, all this is just to say, isn't it amazing how the things that we love all can overlap and feed into each other, how we can learn so much from one area that gives to the others.